the next week or two, we're gonna be, probably doing some interviewing. So, let you know where we are on that.
You didn't even know who's on it? Me and Dan. Well, I just saw the note here, didn't know if he was asking, supposed to ask him.
Well, we'll be reaching out. Yeah, I don't have all the names of the committees by heart, but we'll be reaching out. Yeah, go ahead, Jim.
Okay, I passed you guys out some drawings and things on the pavilion we're thinking about building, and, you know, just want to make sure we keep this going. In those notes right there, you'll see the possible uses for the building that the building committees come up with, the size and everything, and we've got 38 uses that we could think of, so it's a very multi-used building. And I've looked into it over and over again and talked to several commercial contractors, and the steel building structure, the way we're thinking about doing it, is probably the least expensive way to build a building where we can get 20 to 22,000 square feet like we're proposing. So I don't think we can build it any cheaper than this as far as the building itself. But I know Scott and I, or the Judge Travis and I, and Dan and the building committee met at my church I go to at North Point, there on 155, that building, and looked inside of it just to get an idea of what we're proposing that the front building could look like. It would be an enclosed building where you could have things going inside. The rear building, which is the roof-only pavilion, would be right behind it, and it's got its own purposes also. But again, we looked at that and come up with some ideas. I talked to the general contractor, Doug White, who built that church, and that's all he does is commercial buildings. He actually picked up a set of prints for our animal shelter. It's going to bid on it. Really good Christian, likable man. He knows what he's doing, and he said he would help us out in any way he could to get this thing going, and I would trust what he tells us is going to be the truth. So anyway, I know at the last meeting Mike said something about maybe he wants to go revisit the size of the buildings and all that stuff, and that's fine if we want to go that route. But I think we've got the land now, and it's going to take any steel structure building that we build, regardless of whether it's from Arco, which I got the prices from, or it's from Kirby Buildings, who Doug White goes through. It's a 17, 18 week before, by the time you order it till the time you get it. So in that time period, that's when we can do our site work over there on the ground, waiting for the building the materials to come. Also, Steve Emily, who is an engineer, he used to work at QK4, he went out on his own, started his own business. He is working with Wayne Sweezy on his plat of the 25 acres that Wayne's going to develop, besides the 5 acres we got, which is right next to us. And I asked him if he could give us a price on what the site plan would cost us and what it would look like with these buildings here. He's got to have some sort of a building put on there so he can draw the site plan up. So he's going to give us a price on what he would charge to give us a site plan, and also what he would charge to draw the architectural drawings up on these two buildings. He's just going to give us a price, and then we can, at a future meeting, we can decide whether we want to, how we want to proceed. But again, I think we need to continue on pushing this project along, because it'll stale down. I've been working on this for 3 years now, 2 years in the last court and a year here, and we bought the land. That's about all we've done in 3 years. So
Well, that was big, old Jim.
that was big. It's huge.
Well, Jim, I know me and you talked, and, you know, and I know that, you know, we all have some concerns, you know, and I have some concerns about, you know, what ultimately is this gonna cost, you know? And I know, but I understand that we have to keep proceeding forward with something to get some price,
Yeah.
and then if we decide that we need to scale down after we get all those ducks in a row, then we can cross that bridge when we get there. I know that it says here, I think, what, $389,000 for the material, but we don't have any idea what it costs to actually labor to put it together and the site prep and stuff. So, I mean, I'd say let's continue on, and then let's, when we get a price together, we'll see if we can, total price of what we estimate to be, we'll see if we can swallow it at that time. You know, I mean, I think it's a good idea to keep proceeding on, keep these ducks rolling, what we got.
Yeah, you know, we need to keep on going because we can't get a price from a contractor if we don't have drawings for it. So we've got to do that. If we have to bite the bullet and pay for the drawings, and it comes up where it's more than we can afford, then we can resubmit those plans back to the architect, say, hey, scale this down a little bit, and then we'll charge us.
Well, I don't think, I wanted to make sure that you understood after me, you talked that, maybe I came off wrong.
No, you're fine.
Let's keep going, because I understood exactly what you said. We gotta get, let's see what this is, and then if we need to scale it down, then we'll do so with it. When we'll cross that bridge when we get there.
Well, we should have more information next meeting, hopefully.
Of course, the next thing is to do the site plan.
What it would cost to do the site plan, and what it would cost to do the drawings.
Well, once you get the site plan, the big cost, then you can start bidding to see what it's gonna cost to do the site work. I
Exactly.
mean, that's gonna be a huge cost.
But I think we're good right now to go on at least ahead and get the site plan cost.
Well, and the three of us, of course, we didn't make any decisions for the court, but, you know, we asked Steve Emily to get together what the site plan would cost, and he was gonna get us those numbers. And I do hope, Jim, we got that next meeting,
I hope so.
the site plan, but,
The ground that, Wayne was gonna donate to us for this right of way track coming over there, where are we at with that?
That would be included in,
I know, but
The site
it
plan.
isn't right now, where are we at with that?
yeah, it's no different than where we were, it's still positive.
Okay.
but Steve Emily is going to include that right of way in his site plan for the 5 acres too, because it's going to have an entrance back on the back side, so.
One thing, like, we went out and saw the building that, at North Point Church, which is very similar to the building that is in these drawings here. And I think that Jim's willing to meet anybody out there who wants to go in there and look at it. Once you go in there and look at it, and you see, yeah, this is exactly
The
kind of
potential.
Yeah, the potential of what that building is to what we want is it's really very similar.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just a matter of moving they have some classrooms and stuff in there, which of course we wouldn't want, but other than that, it's a pretty impressive building for the price that.
And you know, that building costs $1 million, put it up, finished inside, the classrooms and everything. So,
What did the total project cost?
well, I don't know, you got parking lots, you got,
Yeah.
you know, but I'm saying the building itself was $1 million, so, you know, that's affordable, that's in our price range, because.
That was heat, air,
That
concrete.
was turnkey for the building. So, that's not parking lots, that's not, you know, nothing else, just the building itself completed.
I got $3 million in it out
It's
there.
got a polished concrete floor, and I talked to Mike, invited him out to, you know, I'll meet you, I got a key, we can get you inside to look. If you look at the outside of the building, which is kind of impressive, but the inside is just, it's very impressive. And it's wide open. It's like a gymnasium, you know, that we would use, you know.
Like 3 gymnasiums.
Oh, you know, and there's so many events that we could have there. It's just, we can't come up with.
Winter youth sports.
Everything. So anyway, you guys will, Zach, let me know. I'll be glad to meet you out there. We'll look at it anytime, so.
I'll meet you, just last week was,
Yeah.
I had a full schedule.
But anyway, just to give you an idea of what we're talking about. That way, if you can see something, you can visualize it better if you actually see it instead of just, you know, something on paper. So anyway.
I'll just say, from my point of view, I was skeptical till I went on that visit. And I think that you all will conclude, once you visit it, that this is within our reach, that this is doable. Now, what I see happening, and I know Jim had a little different, we had, and Dan, the three of us, we had some discussion there with Steve Emily. you know, while we were talking about it, but we could, again, do what we can afford. If we can afford the main building but not afford the open air behind it, then let's do the main building. If we can afford them, but we can't afford blacktop, but we can afford gravel, then let's do gravel. You know, I'm gonna say that we probably can't afford or won't want to do the building, the pavilion, the blacktop, the whole thing done. I'm not saying we won't. We gotta get a bunch of numbers together.
Right.
But instead of doing nothing, let's do something. And I think we all got elected to do something. So, we've got this property, you know, let's look at what we can do, and I think that, and then when we get down the road, we could do more. If we get further down the road, we could do more.
So even a steel building, if you take the gable end off and you can add on 10 years later.
Oh, the variable.
It's pretty easy
Pretty
to-
easy to add on to.
Right,
Yeah.
so, but
I'll
go at it,
continue with the site prep, and then we'll,
yeah, go at it with an open mind, and, but anyway,
I'd love to see a great big giant steel structure up there.
I mean, we
What
can
it
do
costs
it.
is the deal.
We can do it.
Now, you could figure your new right-of-way road, your site work and everything, I don't think it's feasible.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying we didn't get elected to do change and do buildings, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying I don't know, we need to spend $4 or $5 million in one building.
Yeah, yeah.
That's not, that's not.
I agree,
that's-
I do not have the appetite in going in debt or spending $4 million
That's where I'm at with it.
on one building. I don't think we have to.
We have other needs besides putting that kind of money right into one project. We can spread that money across multiple different things and fix multiple different problems.
Well, let's get
But-
some facts and figures together
Right.
before any of us make any decisions.
Amen. Let's move on.
next,
All right,
Working on 4 hours, Scott.
all right, we're good. We're doing good. We're on run.
said that last week.
Rumpke garbage bids. I passed out, and I haven't read this because I got it this morning. Let's see. Basically, what I did was, you guys remember the bid we were given last time had a 26% increase. And then had the fuel surcharges that kicked in at $1.85, I believe. All right, I didn't think that was acceptable at all. And then we asked and voted that they would give us another year extension. The reply we got back was, we'll give you a year's extension at these new prices. And I didn't like that, so I just said, well, let's try to come up with something we can digest and live with. Basically, if we decide today to do nothing, we would probably need to rebid this out and see what other haulers are there. And Brittany and I have had a lot of discussion about it, and our solid waste coordinator has reached out to, my understanding, has reached out to the lady at the state that takes care of solid waste to get all the haulers that are licensed in our area, so we could reach out and try to get them to bid. So I went back to Rumpke, and I was like, you know, let's try to do a little negotiating here. Again, I'm not obligating anything. I'm just saying, what about, let's try to do something different. So I thought and I used the 22, 24, 26 scenario. If you remember, in the old bids, they wanted to jump from, currently we're 19 something, they wanted to jump to 24 something. And then next year it'd be 25 something. And then 2 years down the road, it would be 26 something. So I said, what about doing the first year be a 22 something? That way it'd just be from $19 something to a $22 instead of a 24. And then next year we'd do the 24 instead of the 25. And then in the third year, we would be at 26, which would be where they wanted to be anyhow. And then I suggested the fuel surcharge, keep the grid as it is, but don't charge it if diesel goes below 350. Of course, I went up on the hill and saw diesel was 370 something up here on the hill the other day. Now, I know they don't use that as their gauge. They use the whatever, yeah, federal number. But, and I think now it's probably 420 or something like that. But anyway, there is potential that fuel could get, and then that would be cut off. Well, they came back and I know that's all in your packet, because I read all those. They came back and like, hey, let's go in the middle, and I forget where they wanted to do the 24 maybe?
2390, 2024, 25, 27, 2025, and then 2667 and 26.
Right.
No fuel surcharge unless it's over 350.
All right, well, I responded back to that, and I said, my intent was not, to meet in the middle. My counter was not that we meet in the middle, my counter was that we do this.
Yeah, once you put what you wanted to do, he never responded to her.
Well, this is my opinion on it. I've read through these, I read them in the packet. And I say we just back out the bid. My opinion.
Well, you know,
I understand we want to try to keep the garbage going and doing, but
At a minimum, just keep the 1 year renewal and put it back out the bid, but I.
The 1 year renewal is not what we have now. The
1 year
renewal
renewal
goes up to 24.
is the high price.
Okay, well then,
24.90.
I second what Zach said.
yeah.
well, you know,
I
what
say it's
they
back out the
were
bid.
It's supposed to be
saying,
done by January.
I think is 2390 for the first year. Is that, I think that's what he's
The
saying.
very last, yeah, whatever the very last communication
Yeah,
says.
2390 for the first year, and the fuel charge was at $3. Well, we're getting charged for the fuel charge if fuel is $3 or more, which it is, it will be, continue to be. So, and I know what that, the information you gave us last meeting about the percentages of what the fuel charge would cost, that was at the first year of 2390, 350, that was 17%. So that's gonna add another $4.06 to that bill, which brings it up to almost $28. So their fuel charge is gonna be in effect all the time.
Yes.
Yeah, the fuel
So
charge, what,
I think the fuel charge ought to go to $4 or $4.20 before it kicks in, because it's gonna be at $4.
yeah, it really becomes a moot point, because if they're sitting at 350.
Yes.
And I think they're doing it on a national average over a year, so even if fuel goes down, they won't get the new numbers until July or August, so you're gonna be paying it
We're
anyway.
gonna be straddled with this fuel charge regardless. You know, and
How
they're.
do you get it bid for January 1st, though? Do you think that happens?
Do what?
So how do you get it bid for January 1st, though?
We don't.
And then this, our contract expires January 1st, right?
Well, we just need to ask them if we'll extend it for 6 months until we.
Well, we've already asked them that, and they said, yeah, we'll extend it, but it's at the high rate. It's not an extension of what we currently have.
Right.
It's an extension of what they originally offered.
Well, and I say we do that and rebid this thing and bid
That
it out
will
to
give us
everybody.
time to rebid it.
Will they extend it a shorter term?
Yes.
We don't know that.
I would, that's what I'm saying, we get that.
Will they extend it 90 days, you know?
We
Yeah.
can ask them.
But I'm not happy with proceeding. I mean, the fuel surcharge is a joke because it's just a way to end it.
Well,
I
I
would
don't like
say
it
if
on
10
the,
people bid it, 9 of them are gonna have the same fuel surcharge.
But they might have lower rates.
You could be right. It could be less.
we don't know because we don't know we don't have nothing to compare it to, that's my problem.
We put it out for bid, no one bid on it.
Well, I think that we need to work on that a little bit more. I think we
You
can get-
may only get one bid again.
I mean, Republic, fixing
Never
the
know.
city traffic, I don't know if they're doing very good, I don't see these happy with them, but. I'm just
Well,
saying-
they went with Rumpke. The city changed.
I mean, worst case scenario is you don't get nothing to work with and you just, I mean, the contract says that's what we do, but, you know, we try it, you know, you can't just say, I just don't think we can,
Well, I think the
say
last
we
meeting-
didn't try.
I think last meeting, I think it was, I asked Chris Pierce to give us the extension till July the 1st of next year, 24, which was 6 months, 7 months. And he felt like that was possible. Seemed like it.
Well, I think that's what we need
I
to
think
do.
that's what they're proposing though, is we'll give you an extension of 24.
Well, even if we have to pay
Yeah.
their prices for that 6 months, and that'll give us time to rebid this thing all over again.
Well, they said a year.
If they were the only ones that.
Right,
I think they came back with a year.
It was a year. They come back with a year.
I'm just worried that you do the year contract, no one bids on it, or people do bid on it, it's worse, and then you lose the opportunity to get where Scott has got.
I'm not disagreeing with what Scott has done here, I'm not disagreeing with that, but I'm just saying, I don't think that for the amount of years that they have operated in here, they're not really wanting to work with us too well on this.
No.
That's what pisses me off.
I agree wholeheartedly, I just don't wanna get us in a worse shape than what we are.
And I don't disagree with that, but at the same time, if we sit there and they think that, well, we're gonna use them, they know we're the only ones that bid, they're gonna use us no matter what, that's their mindset right now. We send this back to them and say, hey, we're done, we're gonna rebid this again. It
I mean, if you
kinda-
put this in the paper Wednesday, we can try to get bids before the next,
Can't put it in the vote on Wednesday, it'd be next
next
Wednesday.
Wednesday, and then our last meeting ain't till,
Well, we ain't got, we can put it in the paper, but we can go on and talk to Karen, you can go on and say, tell Karen today to get hold of the state, solid waste coordinator and say, hey, we're in a pickle, we need to get this going now. And just because we're putting it in the, put it in the paper doesn't mean we can't go on and start getting bids worked on it now.
How did we try to negotiate that $3.50 fuel surcharge up and say we'll pay the monthly fee, but we want our fuel surcharge to be $4?
Everything we've negotiated, I've done by email, and they're all laying right here.
Yeah.
Which I'm looking at this, this last response, and the fuel pig is where it currently is in Spencer County, which is $3.
Yes.
That's not there, right?
I don't think so.
Because they're charging 20-something%,
Yes,
which I think got it up there to the 420.
yes.
So I didn't understand exactly what he's trying to say right
Well,
there.
he's saying that $3 is when their fuel surcharge is, well, they got it set up right now.
That's when it kicks
That's
in.
when it kicks in, $3.
Yeah.
yeah, they agreed to go to 350.
But they agreed to go to what he's saying right there.
$3.
But they want to keep that at
They want to keep
$3.
it at $3, so it doesn't much matter, we're still paying the same.
Yeah.
It is changing the numbers,
You can
but
just
the
figure, like,
you know,
That's what
we're
I'm
gonna pay
saying,
that.
1 or 2 year price follow can do the 350, I don't know why it's a peg, but I assume that's the fuel surcharge.
I think the
Yes.
peg, he means that's worth,
That's what it was
anything
Yeah, well-
over $3 is what they start.
But it says
charge.
350 on here, is what I'm
Well,
saying.
No,
no,
it
I
doesn't.
think that's what Scott.
That's the number I
Look
kicked
here.
back at him.
Good morning, Judge, took this a little higher up the chain of command. We can do the rates you had sent, which is the 22, 24, 26. Keep the fuel peg at where it's currently at, Spencer County, which is $3. So basically, they're agreeing to the 22, 24, and $26. So keep the
Yeah.
fuel surcharge at $3, so right now, it doesn't matter. We're
Yeah.
gonna be paying the higher rates. We're
I
gonna
see
pay-
that, but why, I see that this is newer emails up front, but if you go to November 29th, it says from Christopher Pierce, it says, 1 and 2 year price as follows, and can do the 350 peg, where fuel kicks in over $3.50. And it tells you the prices.
Of course, I think that's when he was agreeing to do the, let me see.
The first and second year on.
Well, the prices were even higher then than on the front sheet. So,
Let's go understand if they're gonna.
if they're only knocking off 67 cents, wouldn't it be cheaper to do the fuel surcharge over 350?
Yeah, I think I kind of countered that back, but, you know, the 23.90 wasn't way out of whack, but they immediately went up to 25 the second year. And I was trying to be at 24 the second year. What I was trying to do was for the community to not get dinged so bad, so quickly.
Yeah, they're
Well, we're
still
gonna
gonna
get
get
these
the
no
same.
matter what, if you look at this, because you're gonna pay that fuel surcharge.
All right, well, it's simple, we got a month, why don't we put it out for bid?
Yes,
And then, you know, our next meeting, if we don't come up with nothing, and in that meantime, you can see if you can do any better on this, and then if we don't get no bids, we just have to do something. Either sign an extension with more money, or in reality, it's cheaper just to go on and do a 3 year contract with them.
Well,
What's
you
wrong with
also
that?
run into the fact that, okay, I put it out for bids again, nobody bid on
Well,
it.
you don't call and tell them
Well, they're gonna know that,
that.
Yeah.
they're gonna know that. So they'll come back and say, well, okay, y'all here's your contract, here's our contract. You either take it or leave it.
Well, then you got right here,
10
right?
days to decide.
Well, 10 days or 30 days, what's the, I
You know
mean,
what,
20 days.
if we agree to go ahead and bid it out again, it would send a message to Rumpke that we're not satisfied with what they're doing. Whether it makes any difference or not, I don't know, but it may. They may come back with and say, okay, Judge, we're gonna agree with your prices.
I think they probably got so much business they don't care, but maybe what you said, good.
I agree with you, I think we ought to rebid it.
I agree with
That.
Yeah.
All right.
All right, so I'll make a
Well, I'm
motion that,
thinking that maybe we don't reject this, but just move to rebid it.
well, I'll make a motion that we rebid the garbage pickup contract.
Second.
All right, we have a motion by Jim, seconded by Zach to rebid the garbage pickup contract. Is there any discussion? All right, hearing none, all in favor of rebidding, say aye. Aye. Anyone opposed? Motion passes. We will rebid it. All right, Main Street Association, I don't see anyone here. I think they, maybe will come next meeting. I did talk to some of them this, Mr. Goodlett, I don't think they give him a bid yet. So next, the Spencer County Humane Society. Let me get the pages here. Don't have anything from Joint Partnership Update. I guess it's just Cory. Don't have anything to that. All right, Road Department, Todd, you're up. Good buddy. It ain't been 2 hours yet. The only thing between lunch is you.
Thank you. Give one of these there, buddy.
Now, I'll tell everybody what I told Todd. Last meeting, you all told me to tell Todd to get a price on a bid for that truck. So I told Todd that. And then I also asked you, while we were getting bids, to look about other boxes that we could possibly put on that bid.
Let's draw that on between us here.
I got a summary sheet, so.
Okay, yeah.
Don't get discouraged.
We got color photos and everything.
Yeah.
So this is our current bid on the front. Not mind I say that.
That one right there is sitting on our 21 model, right there. Which, or not 21, I take that back, it is in 23. We used this bed here back when we got our 21. We actually made that bed for that truck so we could use it. I know y'all wanted, the court wanted me to go get some quotes on the US trailer. If you look at the second sheet that I have, is everything that's in front of you is a summary sheet of everything that's in this little booklet right here. All your bids, everything. So, there's a couple other things that are inside of here. It's for your all's knowledge. What we're trying to do is the last administration approved these 3 trucks. And this administration, when it came in, you all decided as a court to plumb 2 of them at the time. The third one has not been plumbed. So, the actual quotes that I have that the court wanted, which the judge told me that the court wanted, are right up front as you go through. And if you look at your summary sheet that I got on here, those are the install price from US Trailer and Reading Truck is the other one. And those are, I was asked to get a gooseneck body on these.
Well, y'all didn't tell me to get a gooseneck body, but usually when you buy a flatbed, it comes with gooseneck bodies.
So,
We ain't got gooseneck trailer, do we?
what,
No.
no. So, I mean, like I said, well, we need to do something, so what I did was, is I went to, Dukes, Ettinger's, and, Manning, to get some gas spreaders. What I would like to do is keep the existing bed that we have on there right now, in at this time of year, and to get a gas spreader and put on there. And what you see in red is a remote. I presently run a remote on my truck right now, so, which is a gas engine. That means you don't have to use hydraulics with it. We have one other one like that. It sits on our 350, that is gas operated. It's not a remote, but in the reason being on trying to get a remote system like the one I have on my truck is, if you got one of the trucks that are hydraulic and it does break down, we can put this box right into it. It will work on any other truck that we have. Same way with mine, the one I got out here.
just a handheld remote, sends a signal back to the gas engine and operate everything off of it. But, like I said, that is the only, the 2023, that one there it's not plumbed. I've got one other truck, which is a 21, it's a F-350. We use that as a utility truck. And what I'd like to have the court look at, and don't have to get it now, but is to, and I've got it in towards the back end of your, the package I got here, which is getting a landscape dump trailer to go along with this. And the reason being is we would be able to use that type of trailer on every one of our trucks. So, and if you take there's an estimate in there from Edingers that I've got in there too for you, to have the landscaping truck bed put on and plumbed with the plow, runs around 35,000 and some change. That does not count the tailgates. That does not count the tailgate spreader, which you gotta add another, if you want a tailgate on it, it's another 6.
Are they made of gold?
You're more than welcome to go get these bids. They're all, everybody's in the
I don't
same.
bids, I was just curious, I didn't see it like a thing.
The landscape boxing is as much as a dump bed.
Yes. And if you get a feed spreader with that, the price jumps up to 47,000. It's unbelievable. But if you put this together as a whole, for us, in order to use that truck, we keep our existing bed that we have on there. We would need a hitch plate on it at some time, but right now we can use the existing spreader, or the bed that is on that truck, which is this right here. Get gas spreader with a remote.
Is this bed that's on there like a,
Homemade job.
alright, so why do we wanna keep that other than having an ice flat bed on it? Is there a reason behind it?
Well, for right now, in availability, if we're gonna get another truck for availability.
I mean, US Trailer ought to be able to put you a flatbed on within the next few weeks, can't they?
They should.
I mean, I think
I
An
know.
over US trailer.
I was just looking at the 2 to 3 weeks, what Duke's has told me, they could come in and put the gas, box spreader, set it right on there.
Yeah, but if we had a new bed on it, they could do the same thing.
Yeah.
I just don't think.
I just wanna give you that option. We do have something now.
Yeah, I agree. I just,
And if you wanna go ahead and don't plumb this truck, but it will still need to have that hitch plate on it.
yeah,
I mean, if we buy the gooseneck bed, we can have a hitch plate, because it'll have.
It'll come with it, yeah.
Right.
yeah. I'm not big for running this truck around, brand new truck, you know, I don't really care about appearance, but I just didn't have a new bed on it for 6 hours.
Well, yeah, I mean, it was only temporary. I mean,
Yeah,
decided either we're gonna plumb this thing, or, you know, we actually had that on a 21 model, I like just for us to use. I like the idea of not plumbing it and putting the flatbed on it, and if you wanna add that gas job later, you know, or what, you know, or doing that separate, you know, can.
Was that reading truck bed installed at 7685?
Yes, it should be in
It's
there.
that bed installed.
That is a flatbed with the gooseneck and the hitch on the back?
That's according to their specs.
With
And-
the remote that you're talking about?
No. The remote comes with the actual spreader box itself,
Okay.
and that comes from Duke's. Now, Manning, the thing about it, Manning, it told us they couldn't get that with the remote. And then if you deal with Edingers, it's gonna be probably another 60, 90 days time they,
well, in reality, Dukes and Edingers are pretty much pennies to the dollar, and probably if one of them.
yeah, I mean,
availability-
they're within $100 of each other.
Yeah, if one that's availability is 90 days sooner, who cares if you pay $100 more dollars? I mean, it's $100, but. And then as far as, I just have another question, like the dump trailers, we obviously have a Mack truck, which I know is high size and stuff, but they only have 2 of them other trucks up there with dump beds, or 3? We got 3 or 2?
On the,
Three, 5.
yeah, 350.
They got the dump bed already on it.
Yes,
So
and
what would be the
and
actual
you got
dump
two,
trailer
and you got 2 of them that are at Edingers, get the tailgate spreaders put on.
Right, well, the 2 new ones
Yes.
with new beds and new spreaders. How many you got in addition to them?
as far as,
Yeah, how many dump bed 550s you got now? Total,
I'll have,
big picture.
with the ones that are down at Eddinger's, it'll be 6.
With dump beds.
So around it,
Yes,
the ring is,
and then,
there's no need of a dump trailer.
The one it's got the flatbed on it now, will make number 7, and then you got the last 2. I've got 9 total trucks.
So what is your, reason for the dump trailer? Like,
What, the reason for the dump trailer?
yeah, articulate your need for a dump trailer.
Well, if you weren't gonna plumb that truck, like I said, I mean, there would be a savings on there of about 10 or 12,000, if not
So
more.
you're saying if we're not gonna make this a dump,
Yeah.
then you want a dump trailer.
Get a dump trailer, and then that way, if I'm going to Clem Brothers or to pick Easy Street up, instead of sending 2 550 loads down there, you could send 1 with a dump trailer.
Well,
Theoretically.
then you'd be over CDL. Well. you'd
No,
have to
because your
have
trailer's
CDL, right?
different from your,
But anyway,
You'll
I,
still be over, your GVRW is over CDL, whether it's loaded that heavy or not.
14,000 for the trailer, the F-550's gotta be, what, 18,000 GVR then?
yeah, I don't think we need a dump trailer. I mean, look. I
well, it was
think
just
we're
something to
just-
think about. I'm not requesting that.
Yeah, this,
I think we should put a flatbed on this new truck from US Trailer, and then I guess discuss whether or not, this is my opinion, whether we need to go on and buy another one of these gas V-box spreaders. I just gonna do that and plumb it.
Yes,
I agree.
Yeah, I mean,
Well, I think
I
the
think we
reading
need to
price,
put that on.
the reading price is more cheaper than
No,
Really tired.
the US trailer is price.
It's $1,600 higher.
Wait a minute, it says bid installed 6,000.
That's total with the bed.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
It looks like, I can see where you think the
yeah,
truck's
it looks like it's
6,000.
10. No,
Well, came up to 10,000.
yeah, okay.
So we'll live.
Well, I don't know if we need it.
Well, I'll make a motion that we have that we want to get the flatbed installed at US trailer for the 6,000.
I second that motion.
All right.
All right.
We'll have to make another one.
We have a motion by Zach, seconded by Will, to go with US trailers and get the bed installed on our new truck for $6,000. Any discussion? All right, hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion passes. All right, now, let's talk about how we want to equip it. Now, you guys all know this, we all know this, December, just any day, it's gonna wake up and it be snowing.
One of the engineers said like get you a V-box.
Yeah,
And the
Duke's told me if they got PO today, they could have it before Christmas. It's plowed, and
Okay.
it's 2 to 3 weeks.
but not put on.
Well,
Well, we just drive down there.
Just set it in there.
Just-
yes.
Yeah, but you said plow, not a plow.
No, the plow's on it.
Oh, yeah, okay,
I got a plow quote with it.
we already got the plow on this truck?
No. The plow's right there.
But the plow's
Yeah.
pretty simple too, you just put a
Number
plate
3.
on the front of it and you,
Okay.
all y'all's are remote too, right?
Yeah, the plows are electric. I mean, they
You just
go
put a
on.
plate on the front, hook the plow up, you got a remote.
Yeah, but the plows are all, 8,000-9,000, and then this spreader box
It's 13,
is 13.
14
I
pretty
mean, you're
much.
looking at another 22,000.
I thought the last meeting we discussed in here that we didn't think we needed another plow. And
That's what I was just getting ready to say.
like his truck was gonna be more of a flatbed, y'all load stuff up on it.
Use it for anything else that you don't need to spread the plow.
You got 5 trucks with spreaders on them, how many, I forget,
6.
y'all got so much. 6 spreaders.
I mean, you'll have the 2 coming plus your truck and the 250. You still using the 250 for the plow truck?
Yeah, using both of them.
But do you have a 6 and then you'll have 2 after this?
All day, without the flatbed. Y'all do the flatbed with this one, and don't plumb it. I'll have 8 trucks. Snow trucks.
You send your guys out to clear the roads and scatter the salt or cement. Do you send one man out per truck or 2?
1 per truck.
One per truck, in case one runs off.
Usually I've got 2 trucks in 1 district.
So do you have enough
Time.
drivers to man these 6 trucks that you've got?
8, we got 8.
8.
Yes, and put somebody on loader.
Do you have enough people to?
Yes, as for right now, as long as they're not sick or. And then you gotta look down, you know, and something I look at too during the winter time is look down as a breakdown, issue at sometimes. You know, last year, we had a truck that set out in, Beacon Hills, one of our subdivisions out here for about 6 days, it froze up. When we found out about it, some of these newer designs on the Fords, the air intakes, when you're plowing and that fine mist of ice was clogging our, and was going into the intake, and I got pictures of it, it's as big as size as a football, we're trying to chisel this stuff out. And what it does is it takes those trucks and put them in the limp mode, and you can't run them. So it actually set out for 6 days. So we did a modification on some of the intakes now, so to keep that from happening. And the code up there has done just about every one of our
Was that
trucks.
mostly, Todd, because it was -10? I mean,
That and the fine ice that we were having.
but I mean, normally if it's in the teens or in the single digits, you think you have that same problem?
We're not gonna have that problem anymore, because we've done modified that with, kits that we put on these trucks. Because and we even tried with duct tape in the beginning when we found out what the problem was, because on the right-hand side, on the passenger side, right underneath the hood, there's an air intake. And that's what was causing it, all that little loose ice coming up when you're plowing was going in and sucking it right in there, and then it just shuts your engines off.
But anyway, you know, I just, you know, the most pressing thing now is the winter season. We gotta be ready, and we're trying to be ready, so.
And here's another option, guys, is like I said, you can look at this stuff and evaluate either the dump trailer later on, or just leaving this as a flatbed for right now, just get a box. So we got an extra. It's always good to have extra in here. And budget some of the other stuff for next year in my budget, you know, in the equipment budget.
What do you think if we put a box on it, or we need to put a plow on it? Does that come with it?
You have to have a plow on it, if not, the box is useless.
That's what I'm saying, you know, so
Yeah.
My personal opinion, Todd, you're not gonna like it, but we all kinda talked about it. I think we should put a flatbed on this truck. You got 8 trucks, I understand shit breaks down, but you know, I can't see 5 trucks breaking down and being down for a long period. We tried out this winter, and if we're wrong, Todd gets to come in here and say, I told you, you should've did what I told you.
No, we learned from last year, like I said, but we didn't anticipate brand new trucks.
I mean, we got
Freezing up
newer,
like this.
newer trucks, which, new trucks break down every day.
Uh-huh.
Let's hope we got enough decent stuff up there that you can keep quite a few of them on the road.
But we're gonna have the 2 new tailgate spreaders in addition to the spreader boxes we already
The
got.
6, total of 8.
Yeah, we'll have
So
it.
we're probably in good shape.
Yeah.
I think we're probably in good shape where we
I'm
are.
just saying, flatbed on.
Yeah, we voted to do that, so we're good.
It's gonna be a real nice truck, and ain't out all winter, you know, springtime, clean it up.
And then we get in a situation down the road, you can always take it back and go plumb it.
Yeah. And we got
You
another,
know, with the next year's budget.
Or we put this gas thing on there.
I'll give you something to say, I told you so.
Yeah.
All right. Sounds good, Todd.
Here.
Thank you for that.
Don't run away, Todd.
All you gotta do is quote the softball, the quote for
That's what I want, no, Todd, I'm gonna stay here. It didn't get in the pocket for some reason, I handed y'all out one quote this morning. Yeah, and then Brittany emailed you, everyone, the other 2.
Oh, she only ain't gonna be one.
Well, she emailed me 2,
What's that?
prices for the concrete on software. I have all the prices, she didn't get both the emails. I don't know why.
I didn't get them, what are they?
I ain't got nothing.
Just sharing with us.
All right, well, the one you have in front of you is Keller Construction, 61,500. Performance Concrete turned in bid for 62,550. Shelby Concrete turned in bid for 51,600.
How much was that one?
51,600, and that is to do the whole hoop barn, the walls we talked about, and that's the 30 by 40 pad. They're broke down separately because I didn't know if we were all on page putting the pad in.
Yeah, we gotta have that.
So that's the 4-foot wall,
No,
No.
6-inch stub wall.
just 6-inch stub wall, okay?
Yeah.
But basically, all three bids is apples and apples.
They're all exactly the same. I gave everything to all three of these
Who
people.
was the last one?
The last one, Shelburne.
Shelby, okay, Brian Shelby, okay.
That's all 8 inches thick, the rebar like we talked about, everything exactly how we talked about it here.
Yeah, it's basically the proposal we have in our hand, it's the exact same bid.
Yeah, his proposal is kind of light, the rest of them explained it, but.
Well, all right, I'll make a motion, we go with Brian Shelby for 51.6.
Second.
On the concrete.
All right, we have a motion by Jim, seconded by Dan, to go with the Shelburne concrete, to put the concrete in our salt structure at the price of 51.6. Is there any discussion?
Did he give us some time?
Oh, that's what was gonna be the next thing I said, he said if we could get it, cause I told everyone that we would have the rock there, and, you know, we would get somewhat close and they put it on grade. You know, it won't be 2 foot off, I know it's kind of rough.
You got the whole pile of rock.
He said if we got it straightened up today, he would pour it this week, cause it's supposed to be raining. He could do the inside part this week, the outside part might have to be next week, but he said he ain't got much inside work to do, and he'd come pour it this week.
I need to get his number.
Huh?
I need to get his number.
I'll text it to you.
Yeah.
But, you know, it needs to be pretty close. He's gonna bring a bobcat and put it all on grade, but just make sure it ain't 2 foot off.
Well, if he can allow it, I'm sure he carries a laser, so if he gets that laser out
Oh,
there,
yeah,
we can.
Yeah, it just needs to, you know, be somewhere, we can get it close, so
Yeah.
there ain't much time there. But that's what he said, this week, outside maybe next week,
Yeah.
weather depending on the outside.
And I mean, you know, once we get it done, you may want to check with other people that use salt. I mean, Zach may know. I don't know how quick or how long we need to stay off of it before we get salt ordered. But just as soon as we get it poured and we can order our salt, we need to go ahead and get.
Depends on what next week.
Probably
they-
100
they
tons,
use in there.
We gonna put a.
It's all figured out, 4,000
This is
feet
just
down.
figuring the slab.
Yeah, but there are hardware going in there.
We got figured.
I'm sure there'll be a little bit.
Block, well, how many block you got on site?
Don't say, probably 100,
That'll get us a good start where we can get some salt.
and I got corner blocks too, so.
Yeah, we get a little bit of salt in case we get snow here in the next week or two.
Yeah, I got a question about the concrete. Were you thinking of the curb, when we set the block, the curb is gonna keep the block from moving?
The curb is all inside of the post, so it comes flush to the outside of the post. You know, you'll have the curb and the post will be all flush. So,
So set the block right against it?
yeah,
And that's
Post
what
and the
keeps-
curb.
That's what keeps the block from
yeah.
moving.
And you know, the curb is
Yeah.
obviously tied into the floor with rebar.
Yeah.
Uh,
All right. Any other discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion passes. We moving forward, Todd.
Thanks, Tom.
Thank you for
Thank you.
that. Next, we have a FEMA resolution. It's on page, let's see, I was there. Oh, here it is.
On page
57. Yeah. Basically, Brittany was explaining to me this morning, I don't know, Chris, if you have anything to add to it, but we'll have to change the designated applicant from John Riley to myself for federal disasters. This change is required, and we will need that in a motion to make that change.
So moved.
Second.
All right, we have a motion by Mike, second by Zach, to make the change from the previous county judge to the current county judge, John Riley to Scott Travis, so that we can have the proper documentation to apply for the grants for federal disasters through FEMA. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Anyone opposed? Motion passes. Next, we have what I mentioned about earlier, January 15th on the fee offices, a letter from Robert Brown is in your packet. Pretty much self-explanatory. We don't need to take any action on that. The high school sidewalks, we don't have to take action on that, but I want to talk to you about it. The mayor and myself and all the folks from the city and the fellow from District 5 Road Department met out by the high school last week, and same old red tape story that they've been dealing with since 2017. But I I've got all the scrolls in my office if y'all want to try to take a look at it, but we wanted to break it down so that we could do parts of it instead of doing nothing. You know, instead of throwing the whole idea out and start from scratch. Well, the hurdles that they're going through, the first, they can't pour a concrete sidewalk because of some kind of particular rule, so they're going to a blacktop path. Well, the first section from about the dollar store to where you pull into school, you know, has a nice blacktop path, but they have to put a curb and gutter because it's on the right of way, because there's a potential burial grounds for Native Americans over here. Y'all remember they found some across the road when we was kids. Y'all may not have been born yet. But anyway, me and Doug was younger. But anyhow, in the late 70s. But anyhow, oh yeah, y'all won't even hear yet. But anyhow, they have, so they got to build it beside the main road, so it had to have a curb. $178,000 was what that estimated to cost. Yeah. So then, they start building between the entrance to the school to the four-way, you know, there in front of the restaurant. They didn't have a price necessarily for that, but it came in and then it jogged down on the school property and come along, had a path from the school, and it went all the way to the four-lane road and went to the crosswalk. All right, so since it's on the school property, and this is a federal TAP grant, federal is a key word, you have the local Department of Education has to get an appraisal of the amount of ground for the State Department of Education. Well, you couldn't find appraisers to do the work. And if you could find them, it was, and all they're doing is appraising the ground, so the local Board of Education and the State Board of Education can give it to whoever's building the sidewalk. So anyway, again, it's a red tape scenario. But, so we kind of agreed on, let's try to get the first part done, and let's try to get this second part done. The third part is a blacktop path all the way down to the bridge, you know, where you turn into the baseball or football fields at the high school. So we were trying to get it broke down to where we could move forward. Now, next week, Lady Josie Hammond from Senator McConnell's office is going to come. She stopped in my office last winter, and I told her some issues we were having challenges with, and she's coming back, and we're going to discuss this sidewalk, and then I'm also going to discuss sewer lines and things. And I mean, if a quorum of us showed up, we'd have to call a special call meeting. So and if you do want to attend that way, we'll call it. We'll just have to call it a day in advance. But I invited the city folks to come, and the mayor, of course, so we can discuss and try to get these federal issues. Because the sewer projects, there's federal funds to tie into for sewer projects.
When is she supposed to be here?
It's one day next week, Zach, and I'll have to look on my calendar. I'm
One
sorry.
day next week.
Yeah, one day next week. But anyway, I got it on my calendar over there.
Brittany texted it to me.
So, but anyhow, again, we'll call a special call meeting if you need to, just for that purpose, where we could all be there if you guys want to be there. But that's where that is on the sidewalks, and I wanted to make sure I keep y'all in the loop on it. Any discussions on any of that?
What was the big deal between blacktop and concrete? I mean, what would they have issue pouring concrete?
All right, if you put, I can't tell you exactly, Jim, but I understood it and accepted it when they explained it, and I just forgot. I do know if you put from the entrance to the school to the stoplight, if the way that bank falls off, if you try to put it up by the road, you'd have to do bank stabilization, and the expense would eat you up. So that's why they come down onto the school property more. Of course, now that created this school hurdle. with red tape.
But I mean, like from the dollar store over to, the entrance of the school, flat, why couldn't that be concrete?
There was something, Kevin's sister, or Joe's sister could tell you, Steve Bivens could tell you. They mentioned it, and I just forgot about it, wasn't worried about it, because it sounded like that was impossible, this is possible. I'm
when
curious
you
now.
Talking about this, I meant to ask when Todd was here, but our last meeting, Mago was gonna be in the county in 2 weeks, and I haven't seen him nowhere. We're gonna do all our asphalt in February.
No,
It's a good time of year to lay asphalt.
I thought on the way up here this morning that I ought to ask Todd, but I know what the answer's gonna be. They're not gonna do any more blacktop until spring. I'm pretty sure that's the,
And there's still a bunch more to do, we're still waiting on some funds to come through, right?
well, discretionary, we ain't not getting. So that'll be another round. That'll have to be next year. But we're not gonna get any discretionary money. Now, we have a budget money and we have the flex funds money. That was all ready to go. And we did do over $500,000 with blacktop.
Well, I know that we had a bunch out in my district, you know, up in Hickory Woods and stuff
I
like
got a
that.
couple roads done.
They do,
Well, I had a lot of
still driving on gravel.
But I had a lot of people that were saying, well, you know, y'all did some of these cul-de-sacs and courts and stuff up in here, but like the main drag of Hickory Woods is still a mess. And I was still under the pressure, we were still waiting on some funds to come in, which probably will put us into next spring. So is that not happening now, or?
Well, that discretionary pot, we ain't getting.
Well, the way
We'll
that,
get it next
way
year.
they'll pull these bodies, that's something that you gotta explain to you for constituents, but the way that Todd, it makes sense if you think about it. He likes to pull these subdivisions, is when he goes into subdivisions, he'll pull 3 or 4 cul-de-sacs or whatever.
I know what you're getting ready to say, I already know that,
Yeah.
that does make sense, but I thought we still might have been able to get some more discretionary funds that would roll us into the spring, being able to hit the ground, but now I'm finding out that we're not.
Here, I'll tell you the reality. The reality was, we got started a little late in the summer. That's probably we was always a month or 2 behind. All right, then, when we got caught up, I-65 BG Parkway had Mago tied up. So then, when we finally got them out here, they come in, they kick butt for a period of time there. Then deer season happens. And all the guys, a lot of the guys blacktop and went deer hunting.
Yep.
And now it turned cold. I mean, that's what I observed. So, but anyway,
We didn't have a backup plan for our asphalt next year.
well,
Yeah, I ain't
when,
planning.
when we gave Mago the bid, you know, it was exclusively, and we didn't have a restriction, or we didn't have language that said, if you can't get to it, we can get someone else, but next time we'll include that.
We're gonna learn.
So, but yeah, that's where we are, but I mean, I wanna tell the community out there, I don't want a pothole anywhere on any road we got in any county. Now, when I mean pothole, I'm not talking about a little bad place. I'm talking about a bad hole. I wanna know about them, and my plan is we're gonna fix them in 24 hours or less. So Chris, Robert, y'all ambulance, y'all see one, text it, call us, we're gonna get up there and patch it.
Does no asphalt count as a pothole?
Is there a hole in the ground?
Yeah, there's holes.
Is there a hole in the ground? Now, not a little one, but a big one.
Anything else?
Yeah,
Is part of it.
it's the road I live on too.
There's a,
There's no excuse for that,
I know, that's,
there's a,
and you live on it.
well, that's why I don't try to bring it up much, because I live back there, but I'm like, shoot, I thought this would get fixed before 2 years went by.
well, I want to say this, and we're still out here before lunch, but anyway, I've got an idea of something, and next meeting, I'll just wait till next meeting and present it, but I want to do like a year in review of what all we've got accomplished this year. I want to announce it next meeting. Since it's a night meeting, I hope we can have more attendance. And I would like you guys, you 5 guys, to write down some things, and things that you've seen that we've got accomplished, that, you know, let's, you know, Christmas is a celebration. So let's celebrate some things we've gotten accomplished. And what I want to do is, we'll just go around the table, y'all bring up some stuff, and then But I also want to look ahead. You know, we need to look at what we've accomplished, but we also need to write down the challenges that we have in the future. And part of our challenges are our roads. And I've got an idea, and I've asked some folks about this, and it's something we could do. When you put a water line in somewhere, they'll come put in a water line, and then they'll charge everybody so much a month till the water line's paid off. And I want the community to listen in on this. We could do a similar program on county roads.